Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are absolutely diving into something super fundamental in the world of tech entrepreneurship. We're talking about the architecture of exponential growth. Honestly, by the time we wrap this up, I guarantee you're going to look at all those apps sitting on your smartphone in a completely different light.
So let's jump right into part one, the hook, and what we call the telephone thought experiment. Okay, I want you to literally picture this for a second. Imagine a guy sitting totally alone in a room, and he's holding the very first and absolutely the only telephone in existence. It's this total marvel of engineering, right? Flawlessly calibrated, shiny, brand new. But wait a minute, who exactly is he gonna call?
Literally no one. Zero people. Because without a second person on the other end of the line, well, this magnificent invention is basically just a really expensive paperweight. You see, the hardware itself, it actually has zero intrinsic value without a network of other users to connect with.
Which brings us to part two, the core theory, where we formally define the network effect.
Now, this right here is pretty much the central question for modern tech strategy. Why do some products or services just explode and become exponentially more valuable to the user as more people join them? Notice I said exponentially, not linearly. We aren't just talking about, one new user adding one little unit of value. No, we're asking why adding just one new user suddenly multiplies the value of the entire platform for literally every single person who's already hanging out there.
So this whole idea, it's formally known as the network effect, and it's a completely crucial concept in tech entrepreneurship today. It basically dictates that the value of a product or service is intrinsically tied to the number of people utilizing it. Think about that for a second. It means that, essentially, your users are doing all the heavy lifting of value creation for you, literally just by showing up. It's wild.
And how it plays out is like this continuous accelerating loop. Here's how the steps look. Step 1, a user joins. Step 2, that instantly makes the product way more valuable for everyone else. And then step 3, because the product is now so attractive, even more users are compelled to join. It just keeps speeding up the flywheel, generating this massive gravitational pull. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill, making it incredibly difficult for any competitors to escape.
Moving right along to part three, the divergence, looking at direct versus indirect network effects.
So the concept actually splits into two distinct branches. On one side, we have direct network effects. Our whole telephone example from earlier perfectly represents this. Every single new person who gets a phone directly increases the pool of people you can communicate with. But then on the other hand, we have indirect network effects. This is where you connect two totally different groups. Think about it like this. More buyers attract more sellers to a platform, and in turn, having more sellers attract even more buyers. They're basically just two different sides of the exact same highly lucrative coin.
Okay, let's wrap this up with part 4, application, and how you actually use this for building competitive moats. Let's actually look at a few heavy hitters like Meta, Uber, and Airbnb to see this in action. Meta, for example, utilizes massive direct network effects. Uber and Airbnb, though, they rely on those indirect, two-sided market effects we just talked about, carefully balancing supply and demand. But here is the real kicker. Despite utilizing completely different mechanics, they all leverage the network effect phenomenon to achieve the exact same strategic result. And that result is an insurmountable competitive moat. Yeah, you heard that right. Insurmountable competitive moats. By capitalizing on network effects, these companies lock down market positions that are, quite frankly, incredibly difficult for anyone else to challenge. Seriously, a rival could come along tomorrow and build an app with vastly superior features, or maybe a much cleaner interface. But guess what? It simply doesn't matter without that critical mass of users. The users are the value. The network is the moat. Take a second and just look at your phone right now. All those apps dominating your digital life, they are fortified by these exact networks. But, it does leave us with a massive question to ponder as we close out. In this hyper-fast, crazy world of tech, can an insurmountable network moat ever truly be broken? Well, it's definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me.